that is normal to them. They want their family and their friends and everything, but they're doing criminal activity and they don't really care about the laws. Do they care about your space, your safety, you? Not even a little bit.
MagTech has maintained their high quality during the ammo panic and ramped production to the max. Their ammo is the only ammo I run on the range because of its performance and reliability. I recommend MagTech wholeheartedly.
So here's just a video, and I'll tell you where I got it here in just a second. This is Mongols in California, Southern California.
They're the in crowd, we're the other ones. It's a different kind of cloth that we're cut from. We let our colors show where the numbers ain't. We're the paint where there ain't supposed to be paint. That's who we are. That's how we roll. The outsiders. The outside. I will get home and I never get stayed when we stand looking round in the forward lane. When a jump got gone with a alley cat, you can win that run and the hell out of it. We are who I talk, walk that walk, wild. That's how we roll back to the wall, a band of brothers. Together among the outsiders, we're the riders, we're the ones running door up on tires. Yeah, we're the fighters, the all-nighters. The bottom up and get a little higher. We're the bad news, we're the young guns, we're the ones that they told you to run from. Yeah, the player's gonna play and a hater's gonna hate, and a wicked ass born to regulate. When it hits the fan and it all goes round and the gloves come off, you're gonna find out just who we are. You I talk, walk and walk, wild and rock. That's how we roll back to the wall, a band of brothers. Together along the outsiders, we're the riders, we're the ones running door up on tires. Yeah, we're the fighters, the all-nighters, the bottom up and get a little higher.
Okay, it's test time. Talked about that normalcy Those guys coming back from a war and they're looking for, obviously this is recently, but guys are coming back from war and they're looking for what?
Fellowship.
Family, fellowship, absolutely. For friendship. Military brotherhood. That's a big deal. That is a huge big deal. What else did we see in there?
Brought in their families to make it look normal.
That is normal to them. That's excellent point. That actually is normal to them. That's how they operate. They had a bunch of ladies, a bunch of kids. I'll tell you something else they had in a second that we need to add next year to this organization. Looking for family. Look at all those pictures. Look how happy everybody is. What a boy's looking for? I don't know if y'all know this, but got kids. And think about some of the words of that song. Kind of a good song, right? Kind of a cool song. Very catchy. I listen to it sometimes, I'll be honest with you. I'm like, oh, that's who we are. Different kind of cloth that we're cut from. Exclusivity, right? We're not those. We're the outsiders.
And the paint doesn't go or something.
Outside the paint, yeah. Did you watch them running the stoplight here? And here's what we might have next year: bounce houses. They had bounce houses at a Mongols operation. I want a bounce house next year. Just saying.
Right? I'll never get my kid out of it.
You'd never get me out of it.
Half the staff.
Exactly. Watch, they're running this red light, all of them, all in a row. They do not care. That is normal to them. That was a fantastic point. Exactly what I was getting at. That is normal to them. They want their family and their friends and everything, but they're doing criminal activity and they don't really care about the laws. Do they care about your space, your safety, you? Mm-mm. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Now, when we're talking about motorcycle thuggage, and again, they're my favorite kind of turds. Talking about motorcycle thuggage, we know that they're 3-patch clubs, right? Unfortunately, there are some exceptions to that rule. The Iron Order, guess who these guys are? Notice the diamond, skull, real tough guy. Claiming territory, who they are, MC. Guess who those guys are? Cops. Cops. Same thing with these guys, punishers. Cops. Notice the blue in the eyeballs? Cops. Real smart. Real smart. Here's some more of those that you'll see. Wheelmen, iron pigs, guess who those are? You can say it. Cops. Steel Horse Posse, that's a sheriff's organization. Blue Knights, Red Knights, guess who Red Knights are?
Firefighters.
You're the only ones winning so far. I'm going to give you 5 extra points. All the rest of y'all is behind. You can catch up. Knights, Plaid, and Cops, Dragon Slayers, Fire Guys, Wind and Fire, Hose Draggers, Iron Warriors, Police, Shamrocks, Irish Cops. Not real bright with these guys. These are all 3-patch clubs. The Iron Pigs had talked about moving to a 2-patch at one point, but I don't know if they ever did or not. And then now that we're done, let's talk a little bit about motorcycle gangs a little bit more. Does anybody have any questions about that before I go further into prison gangs? We talked about the exceptions. Now, does everybody kind of understand the 3-patch thing? What happens if we come across a club somewhere, come across some guys on motorcycles that have 3 patches? How do we know if we need to avoid those guys or not?
Double Fs.
Double Fs, yeah. A trick question a little bit. Just avoid them. Just avoid them. Because guess what happens when the Mongols, whose colors are black and white, come across Iron Order guys claiming their territory? You think they care if they're cops? So what's going to happen?
Nothing good.
Nothing good. So where do we want to be? Somewhere else. Right. So that's how we avoid that. We just let those guys be stupid. We've actually had Iron Order members, not our department, thankfully, and members of Mongols get into it in our town because the guys just refuse to be smart about it. So anybody have any questions on motorcycle gangs? Again, 99% wonderful folks. 1% not so much. Anything? Anything at all? Everybody good? You want to keep going? into prison gangs. Prison gangs. Would you like to see your daughter bring this guy home, one of these guys home? We'll talk a little bit about tattoos. Even back when I was a kid, which was just a few years ago, tattoos were relatively abnormal. It was either military or you're a bad guy. It's pretty much all there was. That's not the case today, is it? Tattoos are very, very, very common, very normal. You can't tell anything about a tattoo unless you look closely at it and it says something about Adolf Hitler or has a swastika. That'll give you a clue. Something I can tell you is the face. This guy, believe it or not, is Aryan Brotherhood. What's Aryan? You know what Aryan means? Don't be shy. I can't hear you on the...
White supremacy.
White supremacy, yep. Generally, Aryan just means white, but it's, as happens with gang members, they turn into something nasty. So now when we think of Aryan, we pretty much think of white supremacy. There is what's called the Aryan Brotherhood. You'll notice what the letters are there and what the number is. 1 and 2. We'll talk about that here in a second. And then you got UAB. Guess what UAB is? United Aryan Brotherhood. They're non-racist supremacists. They're bringing in people from other ethnicities. This will be fun later. We'll talk some more about that.